Hello, I'm that fellow in the coat. I look sloppy, so you don't have to. Animation is such a great medium, allowing us to be transported to far lands with just the flick of a brushstroke. And while some talented animators and directors and writers have worked in that medium, some terrific and truly versatile actors provide some excellent vocals and performances that would put even Daniel Day-Lewis to shame. So now, I'm going to recall the best of the best as I count down the top 11 greatest voice actors, starting with number 11. Mark Hamill. After playing Luke Skywalker in the blockbuster trilogy Star Wars, Hamill found himself typecast as the hero. So he moved to a medium where anybody can be anybody, and in his case, the Joker on Batman the Animated Series.
Countdown of victims that will end at midnight, unless our dear Dark Knight stops me first.
Since that iconic role, he has been involved in animated series after animated series, most recently playing a turtle on Winnie the Pooh and a Hanukkah zombie on Futurama. He has even found time to poke fun at himself on shows like Pepper Ann, Freakazoid, and Robot Chicken. Number 9. Jess Harnell. One of the few voice actors who can impersonate every single one of the Beatles, Jess Harnell has made a name for himself, playing small animal-like creatures, most famously Wacko Warner, whose voice was largely inspired by John Lennon. He also provided the voice of Brer Rabbit on the Disney World ride Splash Mountain and Super Secret Squirrel on Two Stupid Dogs. Harnell also has the distinction of playing both an Autobot and a Decepticon in the 2007 blockbuster Transformers.
Are you username LadiesMan217?
I don't know what you're talking
Are you username LadiesMan217?
That felt pretty good.
Maurice LaMarche. When it comes to deep impersonations, LaMarche is your voice actor of choice, perfecting Alec Baldwin in Team America World Police, playing Ray Liotta as a pigeon on Animaniacs, and taking on the role of Yosemite Sam are just a few of his credits. He also originated the role of Chief Quimby on Inspector Gadget, and even played the role on occasion, including a rare live appearance in a Super Mario Bros. Super Show.
Does he always do that? Yeah. Chief, is that you? Yes, sir. I'll be there as soon as the Mario Brothers fix me up. Hurry, fellas, I'm going to pieces.
Maurice LaMarche's greatest roles, however, are his multiple works as Orson Welles. He's parodied him on The Critic.
Rosebud. Yes, rosebud frozen peas. Full of country goodness and green penis. Wait, that's terrible. I quit. Just a handful for the road.
Dubbed over Vincent D'Onofrio in Ed Wood.
For the part.
Tell me about it. I'm supposed to do a thriller at Universal. But they want Charlton Heston to play a Mexican.
And finally, his most famous role, The Brain, was based on the controversial filmmaker.
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
Jim Cummings. The first voice actor I knew by name, Jim Cummings can play both gruff voice villainous characters and sweet cuddly ones as well. In addition to being the current voice of Tasmania,
That's like, hi everybody.
would you believe me if I told you that he's also Winnie the Pooh?
Sober.
And where there are bees.
He's also been the voice of Mickey Mouse's Nemesis Pete for years. His work at Disney is immense, taking on several original characters including Bonkers, Monterey Jack, Ed the Hyena, and my favorite, Darkwing Duck. To add to his credits, he also played the role of Cat on Cat Dog and Dr. Robotnik on Sonic the Hedgehog. I could spend hours listing off his roles, but we have other voice actors to get to. Tress MacNeille. In the Saturday morning cartoon landscape, Tress MacNeille has played some of the most famous female characters ever. Gadget on Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers.
Dale, you shouldn't do that. Not in your condition.
Tress MacNeille. Bad Bunny on Tiny Toon Adventures.
What? No,
Tress MacNeille, Warner on Animaniacs,
Princess Angelina, Contessa Louisa, Francesca, Banana Fannibal, Vesca the Third! Just a little thing I do.
Could it be anybody else? She has played everything from teenage boys to older women, making her one of the hardest working voice actors in the business. Rob Paulsen. Relying on his great sense of humor, Rob Paulsen has found himself in some of the greatest comic roles in animation. Most prominently, his three main roles on Animaniacs, Yakko Warner, Dr. Scratch and Sniff, and Pinky. Starting with his iconic role as Raphael on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Rob Paulsen has gone on to play roles voicing Foulmouth on Tiny Toon Adventures, Steelbeak on Duck, PJ on Goof Troop, and even Stanley Ipkiss. A role he was so good at is continually hired to dub over Jim Carrey the airline and network versions of his films. Through his perfect comedic timing and mastering of his multiple accents, Paulsen is one of the funniest actors in the business, animation or otherwise. Frank Welker. This actor has voiced everything, from robots to animals to people. Rocketing to fame as the voice of Fred on Scooby-Doo, Welker has worked hard and hard throughout the years, playing roles as diverse as Abu on Aladdin, Thaddeus Plotz, Ralph the Security Guard, and Steven Spielberg on Animaniacs, Slimer on The Real Ghostbusters, and Nibbler on Futurama. In fact, totaling the box office totals of every actor, Welker comes out on top, beating even the likes of Tom Cruise and Eddie Murphy. The most famous role, though, is as the voice of Megatron on Transformers, a role he is connected so much with that there was a fan uproar when Michael Bay chose to cast Hugo Weaving in the part in the live-action film version. That's how great Frank Welker is. And the number one greatest voice actor is Mel Blanc. Undoubtedly the man who transformed voice acting into an art, and without whom the previous 10 would most likely not exist, created the voices for just about most of the Looney Tunes, as well as providing the voices for Popeye, Barney Rubble, and Mr. Spacely. Mel Blanc turned these cartoons to life with his vibrant vocals, and the fact that so many different characters could be played by only one man, and how these voices are still in popular culture today, constantly imitated, shows how important he is to animation. I'm that fellow in the coat. I look sloppy, so you don't have to.